Happy Sunday. Happy Pride Month. I kind of didn't want to deal with the avatar today, so it's not going to be here. It's just going to be me in audio only, in voice only. It's been a long week. I obviously had the last 2 days off of streaming, but I've been doing other stuff and quite busy. I was gonna do stuff today before going live, but I decided to give myself the day off. I wish I'd gone outside. It was a nice day, but I've actually been outside quite a lot, just not in like a recreational way. I have made a promise to myself though that I will go outside recreationally sometime in the next week, so I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully where you are, it's been nice. The weather's been pleasant and enjoyable. Yeah, it's summer, which is great. I like the summer. I like all seasons actually. Even in the winter. I wouldn't say given the right circumstances, but yes, given the right circumstances, like obviously if you don't have enough gas to heat your house, or as I have been on occasion, you're almost too broke, but you want to save that money, so you're like, oh, I'll just put on extra layers. I won't turn the heat on. It'll be fine. You know, that can be a less enjoyable time in the winter. But overall, the concept of seasons is nice in my mind and in my heart. I have my water here. I got some food. So the channel I'm listening to right now is like a person who, it's not one of the normal lo-fi channels, but it's a person who deliberately has made the channel with their own like lo-fi adjacent beats, because apparently, and I don't know why I mean obviously this would be happening, right? It might not be on the major channels like on lo-fi girl channels, but there are quite a lot of lo-fi channels popping up that have AI music. And of course they would, right? Like everything else. I mean, depending on how you curate your spaces, like I feel like I don't see a lot of AI art, and when I do, I usually like not interested, or I block the account, or whatever the case may be. So you can somewhat curate it. I do still see it, but I forget that it is everywhere, and a lot of people do still use it. But anyway, this particular channel is one person making a bunch of different music. And they said like, hi, I've been composing these songs for the last 3 years for you to feel better and cheer up. Keep going. Mykobi, or Mikobi? Mykobi. Real lo-fi to cheer you up, no AI. I appreciate that. I value that. And their mascot is this cute pixel cat. Blue and purple pixel cat. So I love that. What else was I gonna say? I posted this on Blue Sky and nowhere else. I posted in the Discord. I was like, hey, I don't post that much in the Discord because it's kind of, there's a lot of space in there for people to post, but it's just me most of the time. It's not a big deal. But the other thing about it is, if you follow my other socials, there's different stuff on every page. I feel like in my mind, each platform has a vibe, and some posts are just the right kind of vibe for a certain bit. Like, you know, and maybe this is a Tumblr person thing, but like, there are posts I'd post on Tumblr that I wouldn't post other places, and posts I would post other places that I wouldn't post on Tumblr, just because of the brevity of the way content is consumed in other places, and the sort of level of depth that people are engaging with it. And I think that's really what it's about. So I post different things at different places, but I posted on Blue Sky about, I feel like this has happened not that often, and maybe I'm just like over correlating things. Sometimes it's very much like a thing, but I feel like I run into content, especially in visual novels, where there's such a wide variety and diversity of different like protagonists and love interests and things like that, where a character, because I'm a VTuber especially, looks like or has an aesthetic like someone that I associate with one of my VTuber coworkers, my mutuals. That's what I feel like. Mutuals are like coworkers, unless you're actually friends. Like they're basically like coworkers. Um, but a character that looks like or acts like one of my coworkers, and I feel like I have to like put a disclaimer. Like this is not this is not like a subtweet stream, you know. Um, but I know in this game there's like a clown jester character. Um, I do follow mutually. One of my coworkers is someone who uses the name Jester. This is not like a subtweet stream about them. I don't know if there's any other characters that look like anybody else, but I think it's an overly. I definitely think it's an overly socially paranoid thing that I do because of, as I previously mentioned, having been on Tumblr and just the way those dynamics were 10 or so years ago, 15 or so years ago at this point. But disclaimer anyway. The game today is Don't Eat the Cashier. I've had it for a while. It was popular maybe 6 to 8 months ago, or was making the rounds on TikTok 6 to 8 months ago, during the like, because it's another game, I think, the Freak Circus, I think, that has like clown or jester characters in it, so this was popular alongside it. But I never got to play it, so I'm playing it now. I think it's more of like a horror thing. I don't think it might be either it's more like yandere dating sim otome, or yandere dating sim visual novel, or it's like horror visual novel dating sim. I don't know. We're gonna find out. I'm about to pull it up, so let's go. Very exciting times. I was feeling kind of sleepy / icky, but I think I've recovered, so that's good. I have taken a caffeine pill, and I'm ready to go. Thanks for being patient while I yapped it out, so I could get the jitters out and be ready to stream. Let's see. In-game music is here. Slightly different vibe, but good so far. Art and story by Ave Dementia. That's their Telegram, Discord. Music by Jeremy Liard Koch? Or Koch? Yes, Koch brothers. Liard Koch. Licensed under CC by NC, I don't know what that means. Artists rmr.media. These are the musical tracks. I don't know which one we're listening to, probably this one. Additional ambience. Sound effects. Resound.org. Beautiful. We love to see it. I should maybe look that up for my content that I still haven't finished that I keep teasing. Let's start. It's in Rempe. They, them pronouns. Your pronouns are they, them. Yes, that's what I said. Body type? Why is my apron like that? I'm sorry, I was gonna reference a TikTok meme, but I feel like it's just asking for trouble. Anyway, type 2. My name? What is my name? Yes, that's what I said. Sometimes I really wonder, how did I end up here? Not that I dreamed of a career as a neurosurgeon or an astronaut, but for crying out loud, working at a gas station? On the other hand, money is money. I sent out resumes to every conceivable and inconceivable place, applying for every position where I could somehow use my degree in art. 0 responses. I had to swallow my pride and find something, at least. I found this note stuck to the glass of the bus stop. Human organism wanted for work at gas station. Organism's duties include selling food for mouth, silence and obedience, household tasks, obeying those who are more ancient, friendly team offers. New and old faces of friends, long and different life, consumption of nourishment, juicy juices, trips to human places. Phone number XXXX XXX XXXX. Good. Food for mouth? Seriously? The guy's got a style of his own. Apparently the manager is just an eccentric dude. Or is this their new marketing tactic to grab attention? Whatever. People often told me that I have my quirks too. And that's even if they haven't seen my fursuit. Oh. Well, whatever. As long as he's not a complete jerk who'll hit on me or make me scrub the floors with a toothbrush. Huh? Oh, go back. I didn't scream. I couldn't move. My brain feverishly tried to find any category for this in its database. Hallucination? Psychosis? Too many energy drinks? A typical middle manager? The monster from my nightmares stirred. Its tentacles crept closer to the counter. My God. The creature made a sound. Not from a mouth, it had none. The sound emanated from deep within its bulk. Hollow, profound, bone-shaking. Greetings, organism. I am Bob, the indescribable and terrifying consumer of worlds, but you, grain of sand, may call me Manager Bob. No. No. This isn't real. I'm dreaming. I need to wake up. You will sell food for mouths and obey me, for I am ancient. Memorize the rules of this establishment, for my patience is as limited as the salary I offer you. Rule number 1. You sell no matter what. Chicken food for the mouth. Gremlin fuel. Noodles made from cursed souls. Lottery tickets. For extra limb raffles. Discount rot. Ritual foil. Everything must be sold. Oop. He points directly at me with that creepy, slimy tentacle. Every miserable unit of currency brings me closer to my triumphant exit from this pitiful hole. I pinched myself, but didn't wake up. Rule number 2. Be polite to customers. Ignore bald spots and werewolf fur, and watch out for drafts when ectoplasmic energetic entities are in the store. What? But don't let them get too bold. Customers are just walking containers for currency. Is this like Eldritch Tom Nook? Is that what's happening here? This Lovecraftian Tom Nook? I don't know. I've never played Animal Crossing. I've never played Animal Crossing. I just know it from TikTok. Tangentially from TikTok.
And they should only pay money in monetary units.
What else are they paying money in?
Payment in existential dread or hair of the dead is not accepted.
Sure.
Many of them come here because they are idle and purposeless organisms. Your task is to make them part with their currency anyway. It is also your duty to heal organisms if they are injured using special kits. If they die, they can't give away currency.
I guess maybe it's more like a Mr. Krabs type beat. Actually, I'm fucking my throat up right now. Apologies. I'm gonna be professional. Excuse me, dear sir. What the fuck? My voice is as polite as possible. I managed to compress my primal screaming panic into a tight ball and shove it deep down. Werewolves. And that's not to mention that you yourself are a giant meatball with tentacles. Damn you.
I shall answer your question, curious polite organism. Werewolves and ectoplasmic entities are just a few examples of the many insignificant life forms that frequent this establishment. What unites them is that they are all slaves to consumption, just like your kind. As for my nature, I am your immediate supervisor and the guarantor of your future financial prosperity.
I'm at a gas station for monsters. I got a job with Cthulhu for a minimum wage.
This is all you need to know.
That really is all I need to know. I fear any more knowledge will surely drive me insane. For the first time, something resembling approval flickered across Bob's many-eyed face. Our what is it? Companion link, whatever the fuck that thing's called. Improved. Our relationship got better.
A rare and unexpected display of the grains of wisdom that have not yet left the human species. Embrace your ignorance. Let it become your shield and a direct path to the status of Human Employee of the Month.
And what does the Human Employee of the Month get?
A cash bonus of 25 cents. I understand that you, human, are extremely excited about this, but that's not all. You will also have access to the elite manager's restroom for one full work cycle.
Is that like one work day or like one pay cycle? Why aren't we asking the important questions?
During its use, there is only a 7% chance that you will be transported to a dimension of endless pain, suffering, and unimaginable torment.
Truly generous. It was a tip jar. He suddenly places a jar in front of me on the counter.
And the last rule, remember, organism, this tip container must be filled with money by the end of your wake cycle.
What's the difference between my wake cycle and the work cycle? If my work day is over, but it's not full, and I go home and just take some money and put it in the jar before I go to bed, what if I don't go to sleep? What if I stay up all night and then come back the next day and it's still not full, but I didn't sleep? You're leaving so many loopholes here for me. I'm not complaining. I don't want to die, so...
If the bottom of the jar is visible, you will clean the sanitary rooms with this object in the dimension of absolute horrors and suffering for 2,510 years.
How am I cleaning anything with a fork? What do you even mean by that? I couldn't take my eyes off the fork, the potential tool of my eternal servitude. At this moment, my mind fully capitulated. Yes, I was hired by a multi-eyed cosmic architect squid. Yes, my clients will be non-humans. Yes, I am being threatened with a fork and eternal toilet cleaning. How could anyone clean anything with a fork? That is the exact question that I'm asking, and I'm glad the protagonist is thinking, using that brain, using that noggin.
The same will happen if you even think of escaping before the end of your work contract.
So we didn't interview for this job, we just walked right in. Alright. How long is my work contract? Is this a contracted position?
My ocular sensorium perceives the subtlest of matters. It will detect you in any corner of this pitiful planetary sphere.
Crap. I'm stuck here. I'm in a trap.
Do you understand, organism?
I mean, I'm stuck here anyway, might as well be sarcastic. 2,510? Why not 2,511?
Organism, do you dare to use sarcasm?
What if I put GQ/GenQ? Is a genuine question, Bob. What's the difference? Why is the year an arbitrary amount? Is it a special number for you?
You greatly overestimate your significance, single-brained creature.
How many brains do you have?
I warn you, one more joke like this, and the duration of your possible punishment will increase by another millennium, and one prong will disappear from the fork.
Why? Please, I'm sorry. He gurgles indignantly for a while longer before finally concluding the briefing. Thanks for the onboarding, gang.
Goodbye, organism. Good luck in your currency acquisition and button pressing.
I mean, everything looks pretty normal. I don't know if I need... We were doing so well and we pissed him off, so I guess let's pretend we know what we're doing. You'll never know.
Adequate. Your willingness to fulfill your work duties deserves my emotional approval. Human entity, you are acceptable.
If you expect a monetary reward instead of an emotional one, you need to immediately reconsider your moral compass.
Greed is a highly condemned trait for a human organism.
This concludes the briefing.
Remain as polite an organism as you are.
And no more inappropriate jokes. He didn't turn around as a human would. His tentacles simply shifted his entire mass in another direction with a soft, gurgling sound. And he waddled across the linoleum. Oops, we skipped something. Finally, he left me alone. The silence at the gas station was broken only by the hum of refrigerators, containing juicy juices, and the buzzing of the neon lamp above my head. If you're my age, you probably remember Juicy Juice, the product. Speaking of being my age and remembering products, I saw an Oshkosh Bagosh recently, and I thought that store didn't exist. I remember it existed when I was a child, when I was like a baby. I, as a baby, had Oshkosh Bagosh things. I haven't seen it in a very long time. I guess people do keep having babies, but like companies that sell stuff for babies do kind of go in and out of fashion. And like, I guess rebrand or disappear or get, absorbed into other companies. I did not specifically expect Oshkosh Bagosh to still be around. Maybe they did get absorbed by another company and they just kept the name because it's well known. Like, people my age that are having kids will remember Oshkosh Bagosh from when they were kids, and so it's like a marketing choice, even though they're probably owned by someone else. I don't know. If you know, feel free to tell me, I guess. You don't have to. You can keep it to yourself if that makes you feel better. It's up to you. Yeah. I stood in the same spot as if rooted to the ground. My breath returned to me in a sharp, uneven gasp. My hands were shaking. The tip jar, which I needed to fill to avoid ending up in a dimension of ancient horrors, still stood proudly on the counter. Okay. So what just happened? Option 1. I've gone insane. Water break? That's the most logical conclusion. Prolonged stress from job hunting, malnutrition, nerves, anxiety, a disrupted sleep schedule. My brain just malfunctioned. Yes, that's it. I'm gonna wake up on my couch in my dingy rented apartment. I pinched myself again, and nothing. I scanned the room once more. It smelled of gasoline and old coffee. It was still absurdly real. And that meant everything he said was all true. Werewolves, vampires, tips, the fork. A hysterical mix of laughter and a scream of terror welled up in my throat. But I held it back. I needed to get through this. I needed to. They didn't tell me where the fucking breaker is. What am I supposed to do about this? Oh no. Don't tell me that's the first customer. It sure is. Why did the lights go out? Bells? What the hell? Here we go. Shit! Where the hell did this clown come from? It took great effort not to look away from those red, burning eyes in the pitch black darkness. Are they glowing? I guess so. Is he amused? Is he wondering if I'm tasty? Bob didn't exactly give any guarantees that I wouldn't get devoured at work. My brain, still recovering from the encounter with Bob, was frantically trying to figure out how to break this ringing silence. Let's save. Quick save at least. Please don't eat me. I'm just a miserable, tasteless cashier. Good evening, sir. What would you like to purchase? Isn't it strange that I work at a gas station for a couple of bucks, yet you are the one who wears the jester hat? You can't just appear with the sound of a creepy piano. I'm very good at my job and I'm very professional, actually. Good evening, sir. What would you like to purchase? Purchase. I would like to purchase your attention. Service packaging. Oh my goodness. Lucky, esteemed sir, my attention is on sale. You're lucky, esteemed sir. My attention is on sale today. Ah, a bargain. But is it wise to put your best merchandise on discount? Relax. Anyway, I adore good bargains, especially when they are absolutely unfair. In a truly fair world, my dear soul, you'd be worth more than $6 an hour. Can a mere piece of paper reflect your uniqueness? Can even 6 of them? Not even 20 could. And I wouldn't mind 20 extra pieces of measly paper. Oh, me. And I wouldn't mind 20 extra pieces of measly paper. My God. Another crazy person with a strange way of speaking. And seems he's in the mood for a chat. So, what is a beautiful, charming soul like you doing in such a dreadful, dirty island of misfortune? Or rather, what is a place like this doing with such a charming soul as you? Oh, wait. Where are my manners? I suppose I must introduce myself. I have many names, most of which are not fit to be spoken in the company of a lovely, noble soul. The nicest I've heard is the Mad King, a title I plan to pass from me to myself for the coming centuries. However, my mortal mother named me Diran? Diran. Now, may I have your hand? Sir, oh, your highness. What the fuck? I don't know. We've quick saved. What have we got? What are we working with here? Oh my goodness. Sorry, I still have my food. I'm trying to use my non-dominant hand to pick it up. Sorry, I had a little bit of trouble, but I figured it out. Let's go for it. Like we do in every game, let's go for it. He suddenly bows his head and presses his lips to my knuckles. So I guess maybe this is like a yandere type beat, I don't really, we'll see. Meeting you is truly a pleasure. His lips are cold, and yet a ghostly warmth spreads across my skin. So, here I am, dealing with a real gentleman. How lovely. Or a king, as he calls himself. Of all the kings and emperors locked in their soft chambers, this one has probably found a way to escape. You mean, like, may I know your name? I don't immediately realize he's asking me a question, still in a daze from that gentlemanly kiss. Relax. Big D. What on earth? Monarch of the gas station. Sure, yeah. My name is Neve. I'm also a monarch. The monarch of the gas station. A monarch? Your Majesty. Forgive my outrageous ignorance. I did not recognize the sovereign of this noble kingdom of oil and discounted juicy drinks. You are a monarch with a wonderful sense of humor, as am I. There's nothing better for subjects than rulers who appreciate a good joke. Many believe that absolute power makes a ruler's sense of humor more sadistic, but as far as I'm concerned, they just never had a good, entertaining time impaling people. I humbly bow before you, Your Majesty of the Midnight Shift. Sorry, I didn't send envoys ahead. I mean, I guess I have to make sure I don't piss anybody off so I can get tips in the tip jar so I don't get sent to the toilet dimension. Right? where are we going with this? Apologies not accepted? You want to buy something? Sure. I grant you my royal pardon. A pardon from the lips of the monarch themselves. How my wounded soul rejoices. I am redeemed, reborn in the light of your mercy. This act of mercy will be sung by the poets of my realm, those who can still rhyme, rather than just wallow in alcoholic oblivion. My company has an especially interesting effect on the artistic types, as I've discovered. Nothing surprising there. Seems I've gone mad myself. Or halfway there. Maybe it happened around the time I decided to become an artist. I am indeed exchanging silly jokes with some mysterious toothy entity, as if it's nothing. An entity that kisses my hand. Maybe I just adapted to this new profession. Maybe I just adapted to this new profession really quickly. Or perhaps I had a stash of nerves of steel in a bag. I can't shake the feeling, though, that this clown is about to explode himself or blow me up. I feel like my brain is turning to jelly. I don't know, I don't really have any feelings about what's going on right now. What do you think the cashier feels like? They were stressed out from Bob earlier. Then the lights went out. Presumably we're in the dark, talking to a pair of glowing eyes, and we can't really see the person standing in front of us. I mean, if you know you're stuck here, how bad can it be? It's not the toilet dimension, right? Right. I guess it's where we will save here. I didn't mean to. I pressed the button by accident. Actually, it's not all that bad. Maybe I've just been spoiled by all those mangas about sinister and tragic monsters. Though the only tragic thing about this client so far is his tragic unwillingness to buy my discount rot. So, let's finally get to the purpose of my visit. Finally? It's completely unknown to me. Oh, for crying out loud. There's nothing interesting in this assortment. There's nothing interesting in the assortment of this pathetic shack, sorry, except for you. So I'm buying your time. You didn't give me any money, though. But can you put money in the tip jar? That's how you can buy my time. I don't want to get sent to the toilet dimension. I need to avoid the toilet dimension at all costs. Please. Let's have dinner. I'm sure you must be hungry. Oh no. Actually, I can't leave. Allow me to create a more pleasant atmosphere for us. I'm shivering from a gust of icy wind. You just teleported half of my gas station to a radioactive dump. Oh? Or a radioactive dump to my gas station. Praise the Great Mother. Oh, wait, is this Skyrim reference? Probably not. Maybe. Could be. And the jar is gone. My freaking jar. Wonderful place for dinner. Put it back the way it was, and the jar. I mean, we have absolutely no control over what's going on right now, so... What a wonderful place for dinner! Radioactive cockroaches on the menu? Of course. A local delicacy, pan-fried in their own radioactive juices to preserve the flavor. crispy on the outside, still alive on the inside. They grant you the most thrilling superpowers. However, I can't go long without familiar landscapes. Already ruined lands make me melancholic because of all the fun that has happened without me. Disgusting. Allow me. Where are we going now? Where... Is this something seemingly less radioactive? What is this? Where's the gnome? Where's the jar? Amazingly, I haven't thrown up yet. It feels like I've been flushed twice through an interdimensional toilet. I clear my throat. It seems like I'm sitting at a table. But the register's still here, we're just at a table. Is this a candle? I guess it must be. Much better. Wouldn't you agree? Couldn't be better. It's beautiful here. And strange. Is this your home? Smile. Words of a true poet, Neve. My two favorite categories, strange and beautiful. This place is much more than a home, it's my cage. And my greatest canvas for creativity. Every ugly tree, every mad toad, every eye-bearing mushroom. It's all a piece of me. A marvelous place, except when the rocks grow legs and start running. Including those people that make their homes out of? Including those that people make their homes out of. People make their homes out of rocks that can grow legs and run away? I'll wait for you to explain. And now, you're part of this place too. Isn't it wonderful? Oops. I'm slowly getting used to the landscape. The fireflies here are quite charming. But it'd be better without that frog with a human face. This one? The frog notices me too. Lets out a sad croak, and then looks at me with an expression of deep, existential despair. Who's that? That's Lorray, one of the brave souls who dared to challenge my authority. My dear friend, who once walked the path of adventure. However, he didn't foresee the possibility of being turned into a frog on a whim. He even tried to wield a sword with his tiny froggy legs. Fought to the end. A true warrior. Now, however, his foes are mosquitoes and bigger frogs. Tell me, dear, does he bother you? His little existential froggy crisis, I mean, is it ruining the ambiance? He looks at me with an interested expression. I didn't realize these were going to go on so long, so rather than doing voices that are going to hurt my throat, I'm just going to kind of wing it. It's interesting enough without stupid voices, I think. Hopefully that's alright. Disintegrate him? No. Can you move him gently? No, I want him to watch. Oh my goodness gracious. What did he do? Did he just try to leave? I feel like that's probably what happened. What did this walking sack of manure do? Oh, what did this walking sack of manure do besides trying to kill me? Oh, plenty. Oh, I thought he tried to kill you after you turned him into a frog. Did I misunderstand? Oh, plenty. He swung a sword blazing with righteous fury or some such nonsense. He dared to come to my home, a world born of my shattered mind, and dictate what the natural order should be. Such an audacious, vile creature. He made such repulsive noises, clanking, grumbling, shouting, praying, threatening, moralizing. The last part was the hardest to endure. As it turns out, holiness doesn't prevent frogification. Or chairification. I found various uses for Lore over the years of our friendship. Oh, the fall of the great Lore. The funniest Tuesday of this century. A Tuesday filled with pomp, irony, and croaking. Alright, I guess I'd also turn someone who tried to kill me into a frog. You don't know, maybe I would. Loving it, apparently. Exactly, my dear. You see, you understand. It's a simple cause and effect, action and reaction. He who comes to me with a sword shall leave as a frog. That's how it went, right? Oh, you truly are a kindred spirit, Neve. I knew there was a delightful darkness behind those beautiful eyes. He looks at me with an interested expression. That said, how long are we gonna be here? Just remove him gently. Don't fucking kill him, okay? What a soft heart you have. My father used to say, a soft heart means soft brains. But I find all things soft quite charming. Let Lorelei land on something soft. And it won't even be a big soft snake. So, dinner. I'm sure you must be starving. Traveling between realities must be exhausting, and also I think fear and anxiety takes a lot out of you. I imagine. What do we eat? Was this a salad? Meat with honey? This looks strange, but it smells delicious. Meat with honey? And next to the meat, a purple soup, possibly made from a less fortunate cashier. Whether the food is poisoned or not, if I refuse, His Highness might turn me into a frog too, so I pick up a fork from the table. And this? Oh, I thought you were asking a question. And this? This is the most delicious thing I've ever tasted. It's 100 times better than those cheap instant noodles I usually buy in supermarkets. Even the fact that I'm currently in some other universe surprisingly doesn't seem to harm my appetite. Food is very important. I agree. It seems you enjoy our cuisine. My chefs have always managed to cook well, on those occasions when I noticed it. I assure you, you won't regret this dinner. At least, not for the first half hour after the meal. This is the best purple goo in my miserable life as a miserable cashier. Purple goo. I'll have to tell the head chef you called it that. He calls it broth of vicious stars and deceit. But I think your description is more honest. And don't be too quick to call your life miserable. Until now it was just a prologue. But now, the first act begins. I poke at the food with my fork and watch the peculiar scenery from the corner of my eye. A silence hangs between us that might even be called cozy were I under heavy narcotics. Well, I mean, it's not cozy. A bit dark. It's a spooky enchanted forest. I guess it's not. Spooky enchanted forest, I guess it's not cozy, right? Anyway, what's your favorite animal? Glad you asked. It's right here on our plate. Just kidding. but I do need some time to think. Let's see. The riding flea has its own charms, very disgusting ones. Carnivorous butterflies are beautiful, but they're dumb and noisy. And as we know, only what's empty inside makes a noise. Or what's in my head? What? It's always ringing. Tinnitus? I think it's a dog. It loves its owner with all its heart, whether they're a saint or a serial killer. And it doesn't notice the difference. It lives in a constant joyful state of blissful ignorance and misplaced enthusiasm. A creature that finds endless joy in the utterly meaningless. It's truly inspiring. Dogs are the jesters of the animal world, and I adore them for it. Especially the small, wrinkly ones. What about you? I'll keep it a secret. A secret? From me? How wonderfully teasing. A little locked box in your mind. And you won't give me the key. Well, keep it. I won't peek. It'll make the guessing game more interesting. I return to my meal. And just as I chew another bite, I hear His Highness's voice. By the way, how does the meat taste? Is the human flesh tender enough? My fork freezing. Delicious. Okay. I'm gonna reference a TikTok. Maybe you don't know it. If you do know it, enjoy. If you don't know it, too bad. I don't know why I preface it this way, because now it's not gonna be as funny, but delicious horse meat? Yes. Human tastes better. Human? But yeah. He did that. My fork freezes halfway. Vomit? You're the law here? Oh my goodness. What are we gonna... Okay. Chew while looking him in the eye. Yes, thank you. Quite tender. Human flesh on my plate. Hello? I don't know. What a turn. This would be funny. This is funny. We don't want to get turned into a frog or some kind of creature, right? Yes, thank you. Quite tender. We complimented the purple soup. What is the purple soup made out of? Hallucinogens? I don't... Start yelling and screaming. Quick save. Why the hell is there human flesh on my plate? Bravo! Righteous anger is a wonderful seasoning for any dinner. Stop cheering me on. Calm down, my beautiful fiery tempest. It's just a little joke. It's just venison. As far as I can tell by taste. Not very intelligent. It's definitely not Timmy, our carpenter, who unexpectedly disappeared near the large kitchen cauldron. Perfectly sized to fit in it. Definitely not. I've personally issued several decrees related to cannibalism, perhaps even concerning its prohibition. But that's besides the point. I rarely have visitors, and I'd like to tell you about other interesting guests. After all, it's the most fascinating thing I can share with you. For a place where mushrooms with eyes grow, it can be incredibly dull here. Shadows in the clearing thicken and stir. I didn't realize we would be going this far. I figured you'd be talking to individuals and then going back to the cashier job, like, immediately. Shadows in the clearing thicken and stir. They detach from the gnarled trees, rising up from the ground like black ink, and spread across the wall. Dancing and intertwining, they prepare to perform at their master's whim. Behold this incredibly crooked castle, my dear. Crooked to the point of absurdity, sadly. In reality, its curves look far more aesthetic, but give the creator some leeway for expressiveness. Many brave and not-so-bright souls have tried to conquer this terrifying, dark, eerie, crooked castle. So many that it became even more crooked. Oh. You see, the dreadful monster living there never liked being distracted from its more important duties. Terribly important duties, like having long, deep conversations with its own reflection, or concocting recipes with raisins. I'm gonna be silent, respectfully. The monster was a tyrant, a menace. He sowed chaos and disorder, mostly on purpose. He had countless opportunities for creativity and wasn't afraid to use them. He made some people believe they were pigeons, and others that they were grains. He wouldn't allow his best servants to have windows, fearing that the moon and both suns would get envious and want to take them away. And he demanded they seal the gaps in the doors as well. So how did they work? He locked wizards who came to him for magical gifts in a giant laboratory, and promised them power if they invented a kettle that could boil everything except water. What is going on? What's happening right now? Take me back. He locked wizards who came to him for magical gifts in a giant laboratory and promised them power if they invented a kettle that could boil everything except water. I'm listening respectfully. But behold, a ray of light in the dark kingdom, the first hero. Why are we telling the story again? The first hero. Sir Loray, the righteous, in all his clanging, self-important glory. He took a knee to rest briefly because the weight of his righteousness was bad for the health of his poor back. Following rumors spread by the same monster, he fought his way through the monster's loyal subjects, too. By the way, where did he even find them? Most of my subjects are too busy contemplating the color of suspenders for their suspenders, or lamenting their fate. I cherish them in their imperfection. Anyway, it doesn't matter. They were probably the most restless of them. Every story needs minions. In any case, our hero descended into the Grotto of Despair. The Grotto of Tentacles? Imagine the most sinister name you can conjure. The Grotto of my parents' disappointment in me. Yeah. Oh, but if they could see you now. You're at a royal audience. They would be proud of you. No, actually they wouldn't be proud if they got to know me better. But in that case, it's good too. You won't be alone under the weight of their disappointment. But let's not get sidetracked. Into the grotto of your parents' disappointment in you, our hero descended to retrieve an artifact capable of defeating the Monster King. Does it have a smiley face on it? The ring of incredible power. No, it's a ring. The ring of incredible power. A bit shoddily crafted, but I assure you, it looks more aesthetic in real life. However, the brave knight didn't know that the incredible power of the ring lay in its 440-pound weight. That was its only magical property. The only incredible thing about this ring was its incredible stupidity and uselessness. The realization that he had spent weeks of his life on a divinely heavy paperweight, and the sudden crushing thought that he should have become a baker instead of a hero, just to get some sleep. Well, it broke his poor, noble mind. Not that his mind was ever intended for serious burdens. shutting my ass up and listening. So, the night perished. Is there a different Lorray then? Which one got turned into a frog? What is going on? This guy's mad. I forgot. Why did I expect the story to make sense? That's my fault. That's my mistake. But then along came Elmer Eagle Eye. They say he earned his nickname by escaping from an enemy fortress. On the third day of his captivity, he noticed that his prison cell was lacking the fourth wall. Hello? What are we talking? What's going on? An archer of legendary skill who tried to kill me with a precise shot. Constantly. During breakfast. While bathing. At balls during sleep. And even while I was devising a plan to get rid of him. The audacity. I hate just killing them. Turning them into madmen is much more fun. And I bestowed a little curse upon the elf as well. I made it so that every time he drew his bowstring, he'd hear the most annoying melody to his ears. I can't. Elmer was a terrible racist. What is going on? Elmer was a terrible racist. He hated dwarves, so naturally, the melody became the national anthem of the dwarves, played in a loop by a bagpipe orchestra. The pure rage it provoked derailed his aim every time. Eventually, he stormed the castle, dropped his bow, and begged for a job at my court in exchange for changing the song to anything else. Not stopping the song? You really had him fucked up. He was desperate. And I was a villain. Everything aligned incredibly well. Now he's my royal huntsman. The dwarf march is replaced with a lively elven sea shanty. And let no one dare accuse me of being callous or heartless. Now he has a salary, good food, entertainment, and a full guarantee of non-dismemberment. You missed the opportunity to change his dwarf national anthem to dwarf serenades. You should punish him for being racist, yes. You gave him a good job. I guess because he begged you for it. Morally gray. Boo. Neve, where were you before? Hoarse odes and comparisons to long stalactites. Endless rhymed verses about the shine of a beloved's beard. It's a refined, devilish thing. Why didn't I think of it myself? To torment a man not with sounds of war and patriotism, but with the clumsy, heartfelt caterwauling of a species he despises. Turning a love song into an instrument of pure, heart-wrenching agony. Brilliant. Well, I'll steal your idea for the future. And finally, a witch. In a classic giant hat under which you could easily fit another witch. She tried a different approach. Seduction. She attempted to charm me, to gain my trust, to become my spouse. A fatal miscalculation. She didn't consider the fact that I never trusted big hats. Or people. Especially when both come hand in hand. And those who wear suspenders and a belt at the same time. A person who doesn't even trust their own pants certainly doesn't earn the trust of His Highness. Then again, I don't trust His Highness either. I don't trust myself, especially the left side of my brain. Especially on Thursdays. But back to hats. I adore big hats. Hats don't evoke any particular feeling in me, actually. I don't care about hats. This is true. No love. No hate. Not even mild annoyance. Really. I suggest you quickly develop a strong opinion about them. They say it's a highly entertaining hobby, and useless, like any good hobby. Meanwhile, the witch was quite overt in her murderous intentions, jingling with all her concealed weapons. Why does a witch need so many hidden blades? She must have been very bad at witchery. Fair, unless she needed them to cut up ingredients, I don't know. In any case, she now resides in my dungeon. And, you see, I haven't decided what to do with her yet. Her fate is a blank slate, a story yet to be written. So, I offer you the pen. I simply adore random choices. Give me yours, Neve. What punishment befits her? What? Does he really want me to decide what to do with a real person? Can I even save her? And does it matter what I choose? Everything here follows his whims anyway. But as long as I play the circus monkey, I guess I have a chance to get out of here alive. Maybe I should just entertain him? I've been doing a little bit of all of it, to be honest. Damn. What should I do? I guess if you turn her into a small hat. The craziest thing you could do would be to spare her. That's... Who would... You? Sparing someone? They'll never see it coming. That's the funniest thing you could possibly do. I think this might be the choice that decides if we die or not. Quick saved anyway. Low key, I want to turn her into a small hat. Is that fucked up? If I become the bad guy? I don't know. Hold on, I'm gonna eat some food. Just a moment. I want to turn her into a hat. I think refusing would be bad. He only hates large hats, so a small hat would be probably funny. And also would appease him. He's also found my suggestions entertaining, so maybe if we just keep moving down that path, I'll be able to also get her free. We'll see. I kind of want to see what the response to each of them is, so that's what we're using the quick save for. I think the craziest thing would be to spare her. No one would expect that. A quiet chuckle escapes his lips. Oh my god, it worked. Using mercy as a weapon of chaos, are we? To forgive her, not out of kindness, but because it is the most illogical, unpredictable, and therefore maddening thing. She'll spend her life waiting for me to change my mind, waiting for me to jump out from behind a tree and send her back to the dungeon. Wonderful. Such incredible psychological torment. Alright, we're gonna actually save this, because I guess that was the right answer. Hooray for mercy. So be it. Well, at least she'll be alive. That was supposed to be my line. Let's go quickly. Yes. Turn her into a hat. I can think okay, it doesn't matter what choice I give as long as I don't refuse, maybe. The one who lived by a big hat shall become a small hat. The irony is so absurd, it's beautiful. So be it. Let her be a small cap of eternal regret. She tried to get into my head, and now she can barely cover it. A brilliant sentence. Okay, doesn't matter. Quick load. Ooh. How incredibly disappointing. You're offered the blank canvas of another's existence, a chance to paint a masterpiece of suffering or a comedy of errors, and you choose not to pick up the brush. You choose dullness and boredom. Well, if that's your quiet harbor, my dear, so be it. I'll decide what to do with the witch myself. It doesn't matter. We could just have more positive endings. Alright, so let's go to the save. Yup. Oh lord. I didn't press load. I do that so often. Which I mean I've done maybe 3 or 4 times in various visual novels. Alright, something's missing from the tale. You never told me about the monster itself. The monster? I suppose that's the end of the tale? Indeed. It was a delightful story. I have hundreds more, of course, but these were the first that came to hand. Shadows finally dissolved into nothingness. I just saved someone from a terrifying fate at the hands of a madman. I feel a certain pride. It will be a pleasant addition to the horror I've felt for the past hour. I'm afraid royal duties await me. Our time is up. I shall send you back, Neve. I rise from the chair. I squeeze my eyes shut. The light is blinding even with my eyes closed. So unusual after all this darkness. The jar is full of money. It was all worth it. Hello, Bob.
Greetings, organism. How is your work progressing? I see that the first transaction was successful. Acceptable. This still doesn't save you from the threat of cleaning sanitary facilities, but it is a wonderful starting point for your entire tiny life.
Can I quit?
No. The employment contract is enforceable in all known and unknown realities. Breach of contract will result in punishment as previously stated by me. Continue working. I am experiencing a positive emotional reaction. I am proud of you, and will be even prouder if you acquire even more currency. Your tactic of adjusting carefree organism is clearly paying off.
Goodbye, Mr. Manager. Your tentacles shine particularly beautifully at this time of day.
Your comment regarding the shine of my appendages is noted, organism. The secret is a meticulous regime of polishing them with void bibok slime. Goodbye.
See you. He slaps across the floor to his office. Oh, he's been here the whole time? Alright, so I guess if I was going to get in trouble for leaving this dimension, it would have happened already. As soon as Bob's rhythmic wet slaps fade away, a deep silence descends on the station. One moment I'm in a surreal forest, dining on purple goo with a mad god. The next moment, I'm being praised by a multi-eyed tentacled monster. Maybe these are just my deathbed hallucinations. I'm going insane. But some part of me enjoys these mad adventures. I'm an adrenaline junkie. Disgusting. Now I have to deal with that too. In the midst of my contemplation, terrifying sounds emanate from my boss's office.
Unfair bills. Unacceptably large numbers.
Of course. What else could upset him so much, if not that? Steps. Another visitor? This one decided to come in through the door for a change. Where's that damn first aid kit? He seems unwell. I hope he doesn't knock over my shelves of shampoo with jojoba oil and delicate lilies on his way. Somebody fucked you up. What happened? He's not just unwell, he looks like hell. Literally. All the skin on the left side of his face is torn off from his jaw to his temple. I swallow nervously. What kind of meat grinder has this guy been through? He looks like someone who could rip me apart if he doesn't like what he hears. I need to be careful if I don't want to become the next victim. How do you know? Well, I guess he survived. But he could have lost the fight. We don't know. You look like Terminator at the end of the second movie. That is true. But when will the Lord take my sinful soul? Well, it's hard to imagine how the other fighter looks. How's life, sir? How's life, sir? Fucking awesome. Like a fairy tale. Thanks for asking. He would dramatically light a cigarette and stare into the void right now, but it seems he doesn't have the strength for that anymore. But he clearly wants to. I do too, even considering that I don't smoke. This profession is going to drive me crazy one day. It'll drive you crazy in one day. You'll be crazy by the end of the shift. Words clearly come to him with great difficulty, which is probably not surprising for a man without half a face. Clears his throat, but that doesn't help much. I need blood. He tried to smile. It would be charming if he still had all the necessary muscles for that. Now it will haunt me in my nightmares, among other things. The client pauses again briefly to clear his throat. See, I was going to make the Terminator reference, but I was like, either he's a vampire or a werewolf. If he's a werewolf, he might be mortal enough to know what the Terminator is. If he's a vampire, it might be the equivalent of like someone coming up to me and going 6'7", and he might kill me for that. So I figured I wouldn't. I figured I wouldn't do that. We don't do transfusions here. No IV drips, just discount rods. Overreact? You could overreact. Mine? Don't kill me. I'm already having a bad streak in life. It's gonna get even worse now. He lets out a wet, irritated sigh. A wet, irritated sigh. That's so descriptive. I need anyone's blood. Yours will do too if you're not fast enough. He suddenly leans forward, boring into me with his remaining eye. Go and find me some goddamn blood. Well, a strange pressure builds in my head, and the edges of my vision blur. An unyielding command blossoms in the center of my mind. I don't know why, but I feel an incredibly strong urge to find blood. Right now. Alright, I'm gonna save right here. And it's quick load. And a quick load. Alright, thought this would be funny, and it was kind of funny, but I do wonder if it doesn't matter. I was told to give first aid, but I don't think the first aid kit has blood in it. Let me see what we have. Huh, well. I guess being like a sniveling little baby bench is not the way to go about this interaction. Confirmed. But we'll explore that later. since it's saved. Yeah. Good choice, Sunshine. Step to the storage. Just in case. Oh, never mind. It's the same. How do I get to the load? I think we're going to go with the scared option, right? Is there any real reason to? I kind of... No, actually. We need to get tips. We need to get tips. There's no point in going with the bad options, because the worse we do, the less money we'll get. I am curious about what the jar is already half full. We're a third full, so I guess we're not going to get sent to the toilet dimension no matter what. But what if we failed the first encounter? Like, would Bob come out and say, like, you have two more opportunities to fill this jar with money, and if you don't, you're going to the toilet dimension? Or do we get an instant, like, game over? We get sent to the toilet dimension immediately after failing the Jester's section. IDK. We'll have to go back and find out, maybe. Okay, yeah. I guess I'll go find the damn blood. My client is covered in blood, but still hungry. Maybe he fought with something inedible? Or is it his own? I found myself in a storeroom. A tangled labyrinth of shelves reaching up to the ceiling, stuffed with boxes, crates, and mysterious cans. In the corner, something rustled and snorted suspiciously. So, where could the blood be? I mean, if there's something snorting and rustling, it probably has blood. Why don't you go find it? Use your brain. I need to think fast. He's not going to wait forever. Right now, I'm at the very beginning of this crazy place. Bob? Where's the blood? Self-propelling gearbox? That doesn't seem right. Foaming body washes for leather bags. Items that inspire pensiveness. Food for mouth? Never said what kind of food for what kind of mouth. Quick save. Signs are driving me insane. I really hope my manager will eventually learn English properly. Okay, that's not fair. His English is perfectly fine. I think the issue is the utilization of it is not for human purposes. It's for Cthulhu alien purposes. Okay? He's talking about the stuff he needs. Let's be respectful. I'm surrounded by pure madness of anxious packaging, and even in front of the department entrances, there's some baby food for cyborgs piled up. Baby food for cyborgs? Okay, so there might be some blood for vampires in here. I'm frantically trying to decipher the crooked inscriptions. In front of me are sections with food for mouth. Dense energy blocks for chewing, probably not that one. Infused nutritional flows. Food afraid of heat, I think. This seems right. Here are endless shelves of drinks. Next to Coca-Cola are bottles labeled Liquid Regret and Primordial Broth, now with nucleotides. Okay. Cans labeled Brapsy. Vodka. Solneco? I'd love to meet the person who came up with these names. I check each shelf, pushing aside cans of essence of shits and giggles, but find nothing resembling blood. Closest thing is liquid hematogen. That's not... I mean, it's kinda close. In a giant wooden container. It smells worse than it looks. I go back. I hear knocking. It's the dry, rhythmic tapping of knuckles on a laminated countertop. It's not loud, but persistent and full of irritation. This is going really well. In front of me are sections with food for mouth. Food afraid of heat? I don't know. Coldest corner of the store. Large freezer chests and refrigerators with glass doors are covered in frost. Oh, that might be. So maybe that will work. Next to the frozen pizza are gremlin cryo capsules, and among the buckets of ice cream you can find flavors like minty tritium and liquid family. Oh my god. A huge freezer chamber. Matter of lesser life forms, spare parts of human organisms, product of animal fauna, exploitation with fruit pieces. This is probably not this one. I guess we'll go with human. Obviously this could be, I mean, it doesn't have to be human blood, but it probably should be human blood. And if I bring him animal blood, I might forfeit my life. Which is okay. I hate my job anyway, so who gives a fuck? This section reeks of formaldehyde and horror. Glass jars filled with murky liquids sit on the shelves where exhibits float. Try not to think about the one of the containers holding a name tag that reads Kevin. Take blood of human organism, Kevin. Taste of unfulfilled dreams and unwarranted expectations. Take blood of human organism, homeless. High content of cheap alcohol and tuberculosis. Take blood of human organism, Michael. Taste of efficient resource and artifact accumulation. Do you think the sadness and existential dread will make it taste better? Do broken dreams taste good? Probably not. The blood in this jar has a rich, almost glowing ruby hue. It looks healthy and full of energy. Aw, man, I should have quick saved. Wait, take me back. I just want to see what the different responses are. Maybe they're all the same. But it's worth it to consider. I'm gonna bring this guy back first. The blood in this jar has a rich, almost glowing at ruby hue. Bob's a pretty good artist. It's a pretty decent rendering there. Nice job, Bob. Michael, whoever you were on top. Champion's blood flowed through you. You were probably something like an energy drink for the undead. And yet here you are, in a jar. There's something to ponder. He abruptly lifts his head as I approach. You? Already? His voice carries genuine surprise and clear relief. Well, good thing you weren't wandering around for half an hour. Bring it here. My client finishes the jar and then grimaces. Ugh. For crying out loud. What the hell is this crap? He reads the note on the jar. Michael. Well, you're a lucky guy, Michael. Too bad I can't kill him a second time. Tastes like a happy family, a successful career, a retirement account, and this jerk probably never even had cockroaches. I will stay silent. Cool that you found human blood. Good job. You're sharp. Alright, we're gonna save. Because this is funny, and I want to see what the other responses are. Yes. I wondered if broken dreams made the blood taste better, and I guess it does. I'm assuming he's not going to want tuberculosis blood. That's probably, like, not good. But misery, apparently, is delicious, so... Cortisol. It's the flavor of cortisol. It must be. Right? That's what it is. It's... Right? Serotonin tastes bad. Cortisol tastes good. Now I know. I'll remember that for later. Keep that in the memory banks. I don't even understand why. But this blood looks profoundly sad. It probably tastes sadder than it appears. He abruptly lifts his head as I approach. You? Already? His voice carries genuine surprise and clear relief. Well, good thing you weren't wandering around for half an hour. Bring it here. Having drained the jar with Kevin, he pulls it away from his lips. A strange expression crosses his face. Frowning, he peers at the label. Aw, man. I can't make this guy happy at all. Well, you're just a poor, sad bastard, Kevin. I've never drunk anything more pathetic in my life. And believe me, I once devoured a low-level office worker. The guy, dreamed his whole life of being useful to someone, but in the end, he turned out to be as useful as as useful as my snack. Okay. Yeah. So did his dream come true? Looks like it. So, I've drunk the blood of a virgin for the first time in my life. Honestly, it tastes worse than the usual stuff. I don't get what all these old-timers are so obsessed with. Cool that you found human blood. Good job. You're sharp. I don't want to give him the homeless guy's blood, even though I guess it doesn't matter because the homeless person is dead. It's not like when you get to save the witch. We can't give the blood back to the homeless person. But I don't think this guy's gonna be happy no matter what we do. So... It took longer to get to the rat. Oh wait, what if I give him animal blood? Okay, we're gonna keep the Michael save, right? I guess we'll go back over here. No. Load. Blah blah blah. Food for mouth, blah blah blah. Food afraid of heat, blah blah blah. Lesser creatures. Take the bag labeled oink oink oink. Take the delicious fat rat, integrity 87%, running across the floor. Perhaps it's not a good idea to feed him animal blood, look for another option. They give you an out. They're like, you might not want to do this. I don't know if this is a good idea, gang. Let's go with the pig blood first. More beautiful art from Bob. I grab a hefty plastic bag filled with dark, thick liquid. I hope it's especially nutritious, exquisite blood from a pig that loved truffles, but more likely it enjoyed rolling in the mud. Perhaps that gives its blood a special kind of zest. More likely than that, actually, is that it was a factory farmed pig that didn't even have an opportunity to roll in the mud. Because that's the most likely option. Or parasites. Either way, the pig and I are leaving. He abruptly lifts his head. You are ready. Your relief. I got you the blood. He just tears into my oink 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 with his teeth. No glass or pinky out. Blood trickles down his chin, staining the already beleaguered floor as he swallows. I watch the whole scene with a Pepe the Frog face. Okay. Ugh. Damn. Oink, oink, oink. I'm not going to oink. I'm not that crazy yet to oink for vampires. Yeah. Good. Smart. Really thinking. Damn pigs. Filthy animals. You could have found something better than this crap. I'm so sorry. I'm the most pathetic cashier in the world. He might eat you for that. Stop self-deprecating. He clearly doesn't like it. We're gonna be rude? I guess we're being foolish right now, so... He stretches his lips into a smile, revealing blood-stained fangs. Whoa. Easy there, hotshot. Didn't know you had teeth. Isn't that a bit too much attitude for a cashier making $3 an hour? Actually, it's $6 an hour. First of all, twice the reasons to be proud of myself. Alright. To hell with it. Better than nothing. I'm gonna rinse off. Might as well wash my mouth too. Alright, so you don't get any positive affirmation for not giving him human blood. But he doesn't kill you. So there's that. There's a lot of options in here. I kind of want to see what option will get him to kill us. I hope that's okay. I hope that's okay. Maybe if we take too long, that might be the only way that it happens. I think if he gets any kind of blood, he'll probably be satisfied with it. Self-propelling gearbox. What's that? Dirty metallic labyrinth of tires, batteries, and containers filled with strange liquids. A pyramid of oil cans labeled the best from Azazov teeters in the middle. On the shelves, there are more cans, this time for engines running on souls of sinners. The air smells of rust and burnt rubber. There's definitely no blood here. Do you need a tire for a Jeep, sir? Yes, bring it here so I can stuff it up your ass. Okay, well, I probably don't need a tire up my ass. I probably won't be able to drive anywhere with it. I need to keep searching. I hear knocking. It's the dry, rhythmic tapping of knuckles on laminated countertop. It's not loud, but persistent and full of irritation. Okay, so there are interactions based on picking options that are wrong. So you get probably a certain amount of incorrect options and then bad thing happens. This is kind of interesting. Like, not that I don't typically play games for more than one stream to kind of see what all the options are. But as entertaining as the successful, as entertaining as it is to be successful, it probably is also quite funny to piss off the patrons and end up dying, to see exactly what you have to do in order to get that. So that's why I'm pushing the envelope here. That's why I'm pressing buttons. Let's see what happens. Items that inspire pensiveness. Next to the issues of Cosmopolitan and National Geographic lie adrenochrome from doves, tabloids named global conspiracies that turned out to be true, and a tome of the Necronomicon for the whole family. How wholesome. On the floor, I find a gothic novel about forbidden love with a vampire bearing an incredibly dramatic title. Sir, would you like to read the novel Night Sucker? Am I stuttering? When did I ask you for a damn book? Blood. I need blood. His anger at me seems to reach such heights that he gains the strength to shout, perhaps hatred is the best medicine. Also, the writing, the comedy writing for doing the wrong thing is very funny. So, there's that. Maybe it's about regeneration or something else, but he seems better because I hear impatient footsteps. Great. Now he's fidgeting. He can't sit still anymore. This isn't just impatience, it's anxiety. And I really don't like where this anxiety could lead him. I need to hurry. Unfortunately, I'm not gonna let you. Right now, I'm at the very beginning of this crazy place. Foaming body washes for leather bags. Let's ask Bob. Bob? Where's the blood? For a moment, silence hangs, broken only by the hum of distant refrigerators. Then comes the sound of pure cosmic irritation.
In your blood vessels, organism. But if you mean blood for sale, then check the food mouth section. Don't disturb me. I'm busy doing business.
Big business. Right now, I'm at the very beginning of this crazy place. Alright, I mean, I guess we could have asked for help if we really were lost. But I'm getting lost on purpose, so I guess this is where we're at. This is the personal hygiene section. Deodorants, shower gels, and entire jars of glowing radioactive liquid? There's no blood here. Let's take the soap just in case. This guy clearly needs something better than the ugly, dried up, hairy monstrosity lying in your bathroom. Sorry. The what? client doesn't deserve fragrant soap with a scent of violets. Let him wash with that stinky, greasy chunk of hatred. Leave the area. I'm gonna bring him some nice soap. Remembering that ancient cracked soap sends shivers down my spine. When did we see it? We haven't left the... You know what? I take a clean soap. Let this be my olive branch for the monster. Hygiene is the foundation of any happy human society. Not a sound. Where did he go? Did he die? There was no sound of a fall. And he didn't leave. Would have heard the footsteps. Where did my client go? I really don't like any of this. Right now, I'm at the very beginning of this crazy place. Okay, so we still get all the way there. I thought maybe if you took long enough, he'd just kill you outright, but no, not yet. We've been in here. Let's go to dense energy blocks for chewing. This aisle is crammed with chips, pasta, crackers, jerky, and chocolate bars. All the usual stuff, if you don't look too closely. Next to the Doritos bag lies a pack of crystallized whales, resembling translucent stone lollipops. Sounds tasty. Cans of peas huddle together in fear as I pass by another shelf, nervously glancing around. I quickly scan the shelves. There's no blood here unless you count the dried stain on the nutritional bricks package. I need to go back. The silence becomes oppressive. I still don't hear my client, but I have a feeling like something is watching me from the darkness. Anxiety sends a chill down my spine, like rats with icy claws. In front of me are sections with food for mouth. Blah blah, we've read this already. I go back. It wasn't a sound. It was a sensation. A sudden gust of wind. A fleeting shadow darting across the shiny surface of a bottle of jojoba shampoo. I start to turn around, but it's too late. I'm suddenly spun around and shoved into a shelf. Wood painfully hits my back, and plastic bottles come crashing down from the shelves with a deafening clang and clatter. The eyes of this monster, stripped of any hint of humanity that once resided in them, now burn with nothing but hunger. You smell. You smell. You smell like mom's spaghetti. A double searing jab that sends a convulsion through my entire body. The sounds of the store, the hum of the lights, the dripping water somewhere in the storeroom, the gremlins playing backgammon. Drown in this deafening crimson noise. My legs buckle, but he holds me tightly at the waist. A giant bag of discount necromancer crabs goes tumbling down from the shelf. The last thing I see in this mortal realm is a giant cuttlefish in a jar, labeled as backup accountant. The surreal, absurd headstone is the last thing I see before the roar in my ears fades and the world plunges into darkness. The end. Quite funny. Very entertaining. Should we feed him the homeless man's blood? We're not going to die as long as we bring him something, clearly. But there's actual dialogue options for every single thing that you could bring. So we'll come back and do it later. We'll do more of this later. Load. It took longer to get to the rat. Really? You're wrong there, Sunshine. The closest was your carcass. So you can thank your lucky stars that you're still alive. You're clearly tastier than a rat. In a way, that's a compliment. I'm gonna go wash my dirty face. Don't get bored. Wait, so I guess I could have gotten the soap and then also gotten the blood? And maybe gotten even more money in the tip jar? What if he hates the scent of violet? I guess it could have gotten me in trouble. I don't know. We could find out. We could take a moment to look into it. Next time. Next time. I think I am going to play this again at some later date. I don't know if I'm going to wait until next weekend. I might play it in the middle of the week. But I kind of want to play more of this. Like, there's a lot going on. It's quite fun. While he's not here, I have a perfect opportunity to wipe away the blood stains. I'm just scrubbing a pool of blood on my first day at work. An interesting story for Reddit. A wonderful tale. I'm doing just fine. Nobody has eaten me. He's looking so much fresher with the second half of his face, although his expression still resembles that of a constipated owl. Nice. I'll just stand here for a while, okay? Take a little break. Besides, there's nobody here with you right now. And just so you know, if you try to contact the werewolves, I'll take your head and crush it like a walnut. I'm David, by the way. A vampire, as you may have already guessed. What an incredibly interesting way to start an acquaintance. Especially that part about the walnut. Just gonna lie. What is the point of lying? Nice to meet you. Neve. Okay, Neve. I knew a Neve once. I used to trade kidneys in Venice Beach. They were a good one, until they got packed up. Trying to provoke me. Deliberately sharing the dirty details of his life to see how uncomfortable I get. Ten categories. No kidneys for you. Wow. I don't know how I'll survive this. Probably harder to survive this than working in this place. Struck a nerve. No offense, but I think I know every place in this city where you can buy a kidney. It's doubly crappy that I don't need them anymore. Unless I want to sell them too. Now I have a vampire here, and he's regenerating. Wonderful. The main thing is to not accidentally blurt out something wrong. I need to be friendly. Are you sure you're a vampire, not a chupacabra? Is this friendly? Since when do vampires wear leather jackets? Don't you guys prefer capes and ruffles? Thanks for not eating me, David. In reality, you're still a bit shaken from what just happened. Say nothing and silently wipe the counter. I guess let's make pleasant conversation. I don't know. I don't think that worked. Ruffles? What the hell? I'm no Ruffles. What even is that? Some French insult? His expression is as if I suggested he wear a maid's outfit. He'll defend that worn leather monstrosity at the cost of his life. That's obvious. Ruffles are not just a piece of clothing, they're a concentrated strike right at the core of his cool vampire persona. I don't wear any ruffles. I'm just 24 years old. Twilight. Ruffles. Ruffles are an embellishment on a blouse, dress, or men's shirt in the form of a frill made from fabric or lace. From the look on his face, it's clear he didn't understand a single word of that. Ruffles are like a lace bib for adults. I wonder what grade did he drop out of school? You could say that. No ancient, old, and decrepit vampire would be caught dead in a bib in the 21st century. And I certainly won't. In places where I usually hang out, that kind of outfit would definitely attract unwanted attention, and probably from the psych ward nurses. I mentally picture him in ruffles. Maybe that's why he's such a slob. He doesn't wear ruffles. David slightly grimaces as he moves his hand. Damn mutts. Okay, so he's fighting with werewolves. Confirmed. Probably not all the wounds have healed completely. And does being a vampire doctor fall under my duties? It does. Bob said you have to do first aid on whoever comes in the store, so get it together. I think Bob said it was mandatory. He did. I want to help you, but my employment contract requires me to treat the creatures that come in here. Had to be friendly. You have to get tips, otherwise we're gonna get sent to the toilet dimension. He looks at me skeptically. The offer of help is probably so foreign and unexpected to him that it leaves him momentarily dumbfounded. You what? You want to play nurse? A flicker of confusion is replaced by something more intense. Just a couple of scratches, and a little piece of ass that will grow back on its own. They bit a piece of your ass off? I'm fine. If you don't let yourself be treated, my boss will lock us both in a dimension of horror. This is also true. I see you're afraid of doctors, huh? Such a tough guy, yet scared of getting treated. Say conciliatorily, you mentioned werewolves. It's probably not just a scratch. Let me try to help you, okay? I think we're gonna use the thread of the toilet dimension. Really? And how am I supposed to clean it with a fork? Fucked if I know. I asked the same question. And why such a ridiculous amount of time? Is there that much cosmic crap in there? I wonder if the cosmic crap in the interdimensional toilet with the fork is actually like a joking reference to, for no reason in particular, the stables of the cannibalistic horses where Hercules had to clean out the stables as some sort of feat at some point in Greek mythology. Why would it be a reference to that? Because of what kind of game it is. Hello? That'd be funny though, if true. Hilarious if true. His voice carries a clear mockery. He's about to say something even more sarcastic when suddenly... Hello? You okay? Bob has returned to his accounts. The sounds he makes still fill my soul with dread. Probably not just mine. Finally, the forks and toilets break through the last layer of his defenses. Alright, I've spent my whole life in complete crap. I don't want to spend the next 2 millennia there too. Damn you. Go ahead. Get out your band-aids with Dr. Chocula or whatever you're selling. Oh, hi. David sheds his jacket, shirt, and t-shirt, then settles into the squeaky stool next to the counter. He's about to face a serious trial, staying in a vulnerable position for a few minutes. For some reason, cruel fate hasn't made him claw-proof. Why would it? That's not how vampires work. He certainly looks like he was just thrown in a blender. Judging by those bullet scars, he's quite an interesting past. Or maybe he was attacked by werewolf cowboys with guns. Most likely the former. It could easily be the latter. Where's your suspension of disbelief? By the way, I didn't know that corpses have doctors too. I thought the only doctor available to me now is the coroner. I'm rummaging through the necromancy kit that was sitting under the counter. It's a heavy military-style metal box with a faded label reading Kit for Alternatively Living Organisms. Inside, besides standard bandages, there are some strange items. Silver tweezers, vials of thick glowing liquid, additional fingers, and, of course, an instruction manual. A cheap laminated brochure stained with something that looks like coffee. In the instructions, the first point states, determine whether you are dealing with a zombie. Ask your alternatively living subject if they ever wanted to eat someone's brain. Let's not piss him off. I mean, he's not hungry anymore, so he might not kill us regardless. Actually, fuck it. Let's make a joke. What? What subject? Fuck, I'm not... You know, not a subject. It seemed to have offended his vampire feelings. He lets out an annoyed sigh for the upteenth time today. Your brain. Definitely not. Was that a joke about me being dumb? I am, by the way, very smart, and I have a very tasty brain. Not smart enough to understand that vampires don't eat brains. Do you remember Dracula eating brains? No. Did he rise from his coffin and say, "What a lovely evening. I think I'll go munch on some brains"? Stop looking at me like that. I'm not a damn zombie, I'm a vampire. And not even a chupacabra. Zombies are stupid. They can't even talk. They just grunt and groan. I don't get why that's not in your necrotherapist's guide. He's actually very offended. He's actually very upset. I unintentionally rage baited him. I thought I was making a joke. I thought we were having fun. Neither of us is a zombie. At least not yet. Let's return to the treatment. I would do a backflip out of joy right now if I didn't have a piece of cloth sticking out of my ankle. It's pretty rough, buddy. I steal a glance at my visitor, wondering if werewolves just clawed him up or if he managed to kill someone too. My instincts, something out of the Stone Age, suggest that he could have. The guy has a killer's gaze. What? Oh my goodness gracious. The guy has a killer's gaze. You see someone like him in an alley, your hand automatically reaches for your wallet and phone. Not a taser? You don't have it? Okay. I'm not judging this person. It's none of my business. I lower my eyes. Next point. Let's establish the nature of the injuries. What kind of wounds could werewolves leave? Lacerations, claws, teeth, a bit of saliva, possibly contagious. It seems the damage was psychological. Tell me about your tragic past. I do think there is some danger in rage baiting this guy, because that's basically what happened. Well, I mean, he needed blood so that he wouldn't die, but I think in the bad ending, it's kind of because you kept bullshitting and wasting time and asking rage baiting questions. But we got one death already. We can always go back and try him again later. Let's take it seriously. It's simple. We've got lacerations, claws, teeth, a bit of saliva, possibly very contagious. Also, we haven't gotten any hearts. We haven't gotten any hearts recently. And I keep forgetting. Like, it's funny to rage bait him, but we need to get tips so that we don't get sent to the toilet dimension. It's very important. I forgot what my job description was. David listens to this with the pride of a true soldier. Every word feels like a medal for valor. Something like that. He said it as if he didn't care, but I know better. Stroked his ego. Wounds from a real rabid beast, buddy. Shake your head. You really need to stop with these fights. They won't lead to anything good. Stop medical discussions and just move on to the next point. Wounds from a real rabid beast, buddy. Yay! I'm dying of laughter. He chuckles happily, trying to hide a glimmer of pride behind humor. But I won't be fooled. David is no longer just a wounded sucker. He's a true gladiator, having survived a battle with rabid beasts. Absolutely epic. I read through what medication I need and grab the regenerating extract for alternatively living life forms. Now all that's left is to apply the stuff. I dip my fingers in the jar and... oh! Suddenly grabs my hand. How are you even gonna do that? Why don't you come up with a realistic threat, okay? I'm not scared. That's not physically possible. Do something wrong and I'll rip your tonsils out through your ass. Calm, icy tone. Allow me to do my job, sir. I'll be extremely careful. If you touch me, my boss will rip out your soul. You know you have this fantastic talent for coming up with threats. You should write scripts for action movies. No way, I'm a pathetic, miserable, harmless cashier. This is the worst. Why do we keep doing this? Why? Is there a reason? Like, does something happen if we pick the like, oh no, I'm so scared, I'm so sad, I'm so scared, I'm so miserable, I'm so weak, I'm so scared? Is it like, why are they giving us this option? You know you have this fantastic talent for coming up with threats. Mean and icy? I don't know. There's a lot of options here. Let's quick save. The phrase of any faceless representative of the service sector. My perfect shield against the surrounding world and the rude vampires that inhabit it. Watch yourself. You won't get a second chance. No, not my vampire doctor's license. What the hell is this? I apply the black goo to the wound. A puff of steam rises from the wound, and the air starts to smell like something is frying. It's probably very painful, but David remains calm. Not a single complaint, which is surprising. I hope it's not from your squid manager. Well, we all hope for that, buddy. Restore some justice? Justice for what? My hand jerks accidentally, and a generous dollop of black goo splats right in the center of the massive wound. The hissing grows louder, and the smoke thickens. David grits his teeth. The tough guy is helpless. He can't tell the act of revenge from a medical procedure. The ointment punishes him for his sins. But now he's healed. I finish up. Surprisingly, the wounds are really healing. The scars won't beautify this man. Why are you doing all this? It's in my job description. The question is asked in an astonishingly serious tone. It's driving me crazy. Even more than that clown from earlier, it seems. Angel of Mercy from the dirty gas station. These are my work obligations. If it weren't for them, I wouldn't bother with you. I just want to help. Are these different? His social skills are terrible. He probably doesn't realize that I lied to him. Judging by that wrinkle between his brows, he's trying to understand, but all his attempts are doomed to fail. Why? David is confused. In his system of beliefs, action always equals benefit. I'm throwing a wrench into his flawless, long-running mechanism. Pause. I can't just watch someone's. This is so annoying. I'm getting annoyed. This one's supposed to be funny. Let's see if any of these get... Okay. I was like, let's see if any of these get, like, persona points. That one does. Well, I suppose it's just a matter of experience. Probably. And you, well, watch what you're doing, or there will be consequences. It seems he just heard the best compliment of his life. I apply this black goo to the wound. Steam, surprising. I hope it's not from your squad manager. Me too. Okay, so you get to do this regardless. I guess we're doing it because he grabbed our hand. I guess we'll be more careful. My movements become slow and deliberate. I do everything cautiously, barely touching the skin around the wound, allowing him to get used to the sting. I can see the tense muscles in his back and shoulders relax slightly. He's still wound up, but relief is starting to wash over him. I see. Naturally, no thank yous or pleases from him, but at least he's no longer threatening to do something to my ass every 5 seconds. You know, David, every noble knight needs someone to tend his... Oh my goodness. Why are we like this? Sure. It's funny, like, this isn't a complaint about the writing, it's actually entertaining, and I mean, it is that kind of game, and it is, like, look at him, right? But I liked that the jester section was, like, confusingly written because he was a madman, so it's kind of like, you don't know what's actually going to set him off, whereas here, it's kind of very... feels more standard in terms of the options that you're getting, and how the writer expects you to want to talk to the love interest client in this sense, and that's okay. We can do that. I can do that. Okay. All right. What are you talking about? What night? What battles? I fought in an alley stinking of urine against a bunch of dirty werewolves for territory on the outskirts of this godforsaken city. They tore my pants, and I had to take a new pair off a junkie who was lying in a puddle nearby. That's rough. What am I? A knight of what? The knight of torn pants? You are a wolfhound knight. What do you want me to do with it? Like, I can't take this seriously. I can't take it seriously. As long as they're not stained. Well, you get it. I get it. I just don't understand whether you've completely lost your mind or you're just very brave. Since I died, that's not a threat to me. Just so you know. I can only crap myself metaphorically. What a wonderful fact about vampire biology. Okay, but aren't the pants stained with the piss of the person that you took them from? Am I missing something? Did I misunderstand? Maybe I did. Maybe I did. I don't know. I finish up. Surprisingly, the wounds really are healing. The scars won't beautify this man. Why are you doing all this? The question is asked in an astonishingly serious tone. He's driving me crazy. Even more than that clown from earlier, it seems. Work obligations. I think actually probably this is the best option. Based on the reply that we get to this one. These are my work obligations. If it weren't for them, I wouldn't bother with you. He sighs in relief. Just moments ago, his worldview was practically shaken, but I put everything back in place. Uh-huh. That's what I thought. What a pity. You still have to do your job. And just 5 minutes ago, this ape didn't even want to get treated. Clears his throat. Thank you. What? Am I hearing things? I thought he didn't know such words. I'm even afraid to breathe, so I don't scare off this rare exotic display of politeness. He says that word as if he's pronouncing it for the first time in his life. I wouldn't be surprised if that's actually the case. Just a couple more seconds and he's back in front of the counter. So, the client is fed, clean, and healed. And yet he's here still, not putting any money on the counter, and the tip jar is lacking. I look at him. He's supposed to be full of energy, but instead, he looks lost. David is deep in thought, in that dark, gloomy little place that occupies his mind. A vampire hotel? What? Can I do anything else for you, sir? This seemingly simple question stumps him. David frowns and looks past me for a while before responding. Yeah, you can do something. I'm curious about one thing. I haven't talked to a regular human in a long time. I wonder by regular human, does he mean my extremely natural essence? I'm no vampire, werewolf, or thieving gnome. Or does he mean my lack of criminal record and absence of drug or alcohol dependency? Or maybe he's looking for the perspective of an ordinary worker, a working class person, a gray color. Does your face always look that funny when you're thinking about something? I don't even get a chance to respond before his jab before he follows up. Let's conduct an experiment. Suppose you're now a free vampire, able to go wherever you want, do whatever you want. Where would you go? David looks at me expectantly. Jesus Christ. Oh, we can go through all of them, I guess. What kind of superpowers do vampires have? A whole lot. We're practically a superhero league. I'm sure it never crossed your mind that in reality, bloodsuckers can be way scarier than in savvy movies for girls. Looks like he's watched Twilight. Interesting. Some of us not only drink human blood, but also capture people to experiment on them. They turn human bodies into a real nightmare of flesh and bones Dr. Moreau couldn't even imagine. And there are vampire sorcerers who can rip your soul out of your body and make you work for them for eternity. Literally. Seems like I already have one of those sorcerers. His name is Bob. He's checking his bills. There he is. I wonder what inner strength it took David not to flinch. And there are those who can make your head explode. Literally. With just a glance. But not all of us are such wicked bastards. I'm sorry. Not all of us are such wicked bastards. You don't even have to kill a person to eat. Just drink a little, instead of gorging yourself like a pig at the trough. But some don't care. They just drain all the blood and splash it everywhere. The forensics team is baffled why the person turned into a sprinkler before dying. He seems to enjoy talking about how cool vampires are. I guess. And which of these do you have? I've got a decent list of what I can do. I'm not complaining. Imagine it. You never get tired. You can party all night long, fuck all night long. You're stronger than 10 thugs combined. Well, except for 10 werewolf thugs. That might take some effort. If you want to shrink down and fly somewhere, you can turn into a tiny bat. Your reflexes become 100 times sharper. You feel everything. You see everything. You can hear a rat piss a block away. I don't want to hear what rats are up to. And finally, you can make people do anything you want. Absolutely anything. Are you sure the last one is due to your vampirism and not just because they're scared you'll beat them up? David lets out a sharp, raspy laugh. You're right. Most law-abiding citizens avoid me by 100 miles. It's a working strategy in most cases, but sometimes you need a subtle approach, you know? The word subtle from this guy sounds almost comical. It's one thing to scare someone shitless. They give in just to avoid being harmed. It's another when they act with full confidence that that is what they want. They don't even realize they're just vampire pawns now. Yes, I think I get it. He pulled that trick on me, too. Did he? When? David smiles, but this time the smile is strained. These are the words of someone stuck in a web of artificial connections and ass-related threats. Fear and supernatural compulsion aren't the best foundations for a strong friendship. Yeah, probably. I'm actually gonna say it out loud. There's a lot going on here. David, you're a creature stuck in a web of artificial connections and ass-related threats. Your whole life is based on lies. Even if it's based on my ass, I don't care. What are we talking about? What's going on? Is it based on your ass? If you're a bloodsucker, you'll live like this in no other way. In this snake pit, you won't make true friends. Vampires don't live in one big, beautiful house like in Twilight. They're like cowboys in the Wild West, constantly cutting and shooting each other and blowing up houses. Twilight reference again, oh my god. Don't think I'm whining. It's actually great. It keeps you on your toes. You'll get used to it once you adjust. I'd rather live in a big vampire house in happiness, love, and harmony. This world doesn't run on love. I'm just saying this so you'll tip me. Don't get any ideas. Exactly. A great way to feel alive. Not so dead. You get it. He seems to enjoy talking about how cool vampires are. I mean, it's his job. Can vampires open beer cans with their minds? Let's ask a stupid fucking question. Oh, sure they can. But they can't drink beer afterward. When I was just recently turned about 2 years ago, I tried to eat spaghetti. Not the smartest decision. What happened? I threw up farther than I could see, puking out blood and meatballs, left some graffiti and a bit of pasta on the wall. Yuck. The guy who cleaned it up probably thought a whole spaghetti monster exploded in that alley. Mamma mia, no more pasta. Pizza, no delicious food, that's terrible. You got it exactly. I miss pizza. My buddy used to say you always have to sacrifice something. In our case, it's pizza. Sounds silly, but of course... Or, sounds silly, of course, but in reality it sucks. Still, you get used to it over time. I can see he's lying. David lives in a spaghetti-less hell. What kind of monster would doom someone to that? You can still order food delivery, by the way. Just this time, you eat the delivery guy. He seems to enjoy talking about how cool vampires are. Is it the same weaknesses that we all know and love? Can you find everyone who wronged you in life and get revenge? Why did you watch Twilight? Yes. I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't watch emo crap. Well, I hold a dramatic pause. David looks like a cornered animal. He stares at the floor, then the ceiling, anywhere but at me. Finally, lets out a loud sigh filled with disappointment and embarrassment. Fine, damn it. Alright, I watched everything. All Twilight movies, watched The Lost Boys, Interview with the Vampire, Blade. The idiot who bit me didn't explain anything beyond the basics, like, don't go out in the sun, you little punk. I thought maybe these stupid movies had a clue, you know? Hidden in all that silly romance and melodrama. Most of it turned out to be bullshit. I read legends, searched for info online. As you can imagine, all supernatural beings try not to give themselves away, but sometimes you still stumble upon bits and pieces. Or crazies. One or the other. My favorite, by the way, was From Dusk Till Dawn. Too bad vampires don't explode in real life. I have more questions. I don't really feel the need to taunt about Twilight. To be perfectly honest, I don't care about Twilight either. Who were you before the bite? He opens his mouth, ready to tell me off or mention something about butts again, but stops himself. Probably his thank you sealed our fragile friendship. I'll tell you, but it's probably not relevant. Well, it's nothing. I was a nobody. I was just surviving as everything went to hell. Unlike all those bastards born with a silver spoon up their ass. Why is it always the ass? You ever see those happy American families in TV commercials? They sit at the table with a bowl of salad, smiling like idiots, and they always have a dog. Well, that wasn't my case. My stepdad was a crazy guy who thought the best birthday gift was a smack on the head. He did teach me how to shoot properly, though. I left my family dump early. It's really dumb, but I thought I'd start a band and become a rock star. But as they say, wish in one hand and shit in the other, see which one fills up faster. Like he's not emo, but he's basically it's enough. At first, I worked wherever I could, then found some guys to do some shady stuff with. There aren't many ways to make a living in the Los Angeles area. Can't exactly work the cash register, right? I mean, you could. Well, I mean, if you worked at night. David jabs again, but without malice. The antisocial environment made him resentful of the middle and upper classes, but it hasn't affected me yet. I wonder why. No comment. That's it. That's the whole story. And then you got bit? Did you get bit by someone you were working for? Oh lord, this is my chance to make up something cool. Or just tell it like it is. What? The best sniper in my gang. I have a single parent family and an art degree. And no dog. Yeah, why not? He listens to how I ended up in this dump. About my job search and everything else. I didn't sell drugs in alleys, but it seems we still find some common ground. Got it. You're not in your element. David truly understands. Neither he nor I wanted to end up where we are. Neither of us knows what to do next. And we both love cheap noodles. But he can't eat them anymore. I win. You must be tired of those draw me requests, huh? I draw you. Oh, like a French girl? He tries to look nonchalant, but his eyes show he's interested. Go ahead. I love beautiful doodles. Actually, we should get Bob to draw you. Did you see his work? Killing it. He says the word doodles with such strange tenderness that it sounds more like a compliment than an insult. I pick up a pencil. Let's draw him as he is. Nice job, art student. Wow, what a face. I almost forgot what I look like. Bags under my eyes like a junkie. Silence hangs in the air while David examines the drawing. He clearly doesn't know how to react to this unexpected little act of normalcy. Looks cool. The last words are spoken in a barely audible, almost reverent whisper, unlike anything I've ever heard from him before. 2 simple words, said with all the sincerity this guy can muster. I can do something too. David takes the pencil from me and with deep concentration, almost sticking out his tongue, scribbles something. A few minutes later, a drawing appears before me. I never would have thought this guy was capable of that. You draw better than me, I have an education! Why are we yelling? Wow. Beautiful. David clears his throat, embarrassed. It's nothing special. Just a doodle. I was into it a bit when I was a kid. Comics, all that stuff. Nothing serious. I take the drawing from myself. Alright. Where were we? Can you find everyone who wronged you in life and get revenge? Did you do that? That's not what I clicked the wrong one, it's fine. What are your weaknesses? Well, no more tanning. No reflection in mirrors. If you were ugly before, it's actually a bonus, right? You can enter without an invitation. Garlic doesn't scare you either, which is why you were able to eat the spaghetti. Holy water is trickier. Depends on the situation. A steak works, but piercing your chest would be quite the challenge. Piercing any part of you is quite the challenge, actually. Our skin is like steel, unless a particularly persistent werewolf comes along. Well, at least you can enter without an invitation. No need for unnecessary chit-chat with people. David looks at me expectantly. Yeah. A lot of people think about that first. But it's a bad idea to leave a trail of bodies of people you were somehow connected to. And your head fills quickly with other things. Like, well, the fact that you're dead. And it's forever. Great. We'll have more questions. I think I'm ready to tell you my decision. I don't think I can become a vampire because I don't think Bob is going to be okay with that. Unfortunately. He leans in closer when suddenly we hear a wolf howling. Hilarious. I don't even have time to blink before David vanishes. Now he's a little bat hiding behind the counter. His face is hilarious. Listen up. Don't say anything about me. Sit tight and behave, or you'll feel incredibly shitty. Trust me, if you rat me out to that mutt, I'll find a way to get out and twist your head off. No ass-related threat this time, though. The threat in his voice is completely lacking, mostly because his voice now comes from a very small, though angry, bat. Werewolf. A werewolf is about to come in here now. It's quite large. Why, grandmother, what big teeth you have. The creature steps inside. Oh, okay, but kinda cute. Kinda cute, actually.
Good evening, Chief.
I have no idea what I'm doing.
Good evening, Chief.
A low rumbling bass, surprisingly calm and friendly.
Can I pet you?
Can I pet you?
Chief? I'm not sure I understood you correctly. You want to pet me?
He awkwardly shifts from paw to paw.
That's very unexpected, and of course very flattering, Chief. Don't get me wrong, but I'm kind of on duty. Tracking the supernatural.
Looks around nervously.
Alright. You can, but just a little. I still have important business.
I reach out and pet him. The fur is soft and warm and thick. I immediately feel a low vibration. The werewolf is quietly, silently, purring. At first, it's barely noticeable, but then his short, fluffy tail starts to wag slowly but confidently from side to side. He's a good boy, and a very, very big, but good boy. He deserves praise. I'm the Princess Mononoke of this gas station, although David doesn't seem thrilled. I pull my hand back. The Princess Mononoke of this gas station?
Thank you, Chief. It's been a while since I've been... Anyway, thank you.
His voice is ridiculous. I'm sorry.
So, getting back to the purpose of my visit. Apologies for this sudden intrusion. Edward, you can just call me Eddie. We're chasing down a certain pest. You haven't seen a vampire around here by chance, have you? You know, young, a bit scruffy, wearing a leather jacket. You see, here's the story. One of our pack nearly took out a vampire sire and his offspring a few hours ago. It was a tough battle. We suffered losses. We tried to track them, and found one of them, well, more like a pile of ash where he once lay. It seems one bloodsucker off the other when he was weakened. Their family values are quite lacking. It seems patricide has occurred. David didn't tell me anything about it.
Oh, sorry, that's me. I was like, how does he know how does he know his name? It seems patricide has occurred. David didn't tell me anything about it. You got some splaining to do. Probably that's why he had all those questions about vampirism. He was trying to get advice on where to go next after killing his creator, but in a completely idiotic way. So, okay, he was turned 2 years ago, and he's just been hanging out with the vampire that sired him. And in that time, did not receive any answers from said vampire maker. And then they got into a scrap, and then probably fought afterwards, and he was like, well, fuck this, I'm killing you. And he did. So maybe all of the damage that he suffered was from the fight with his maker? Not even from the werewolves? I mean, could be both. Could be both.
You see, Chief, vampires are parasites on the body of our society. They drink blood, like mosquitoes. But unlike mosquitoes, they kill their victims by draining them dry. They languish in boredom with their immortality, and thus destroy human destinies, play with them, torment them, and derive a semblance of pleasure from their suffering. They are devoid of true feelings.
I look at David, devoid of any feelings. He's shaking all over. He's mad as hell.
So I would be extremely grateful for any help.
Ah, a businesswoman. A business they them. After all. The money. The bat nervously swallows and slowly nods his head. He fully understands my threat. I force a smile and say I haven't seen anything. A quiet, peaceful night. Eddie examines me closely. He's probably catching a faint scent of blood, but my calm demeanor throws him off.
Strange. Well, okay. If he shows up, just give a whistle. We won't be far away from here. Good night, Chief.
The werewolf goes off to his important wolf business. David crawls out of his hiding spot. He throws a few bills into the jar. My services are worth more than that. And I saved your life? Do you even know how blackmail works? Don't piss me off. Here's your damn money. Choke on it. He leaves without saying goodbye. I can't tell if he's mad because a mortal swindled him like a sucker, or because I saw him at a moment of weakness. Will his fragile ego survive the blow? Maybe. Maybe I'll find out. Either way, there's one less vampire at the gas station. Another satisfied customer. Another satisfied Baab. I survived another visitor. It seems I'm starting to get used to this job. Wiping off the sticky residue, hoping it was just spilled soda from the counter, I suddenly hear the crunch of gravel outside. Alright, so we're at about 2 hours and 45 minutes. I would love to make these streams super long. I am quite tired, and I think I've made enough silly reading mistakes today as it is. I could either take a break for a little bit and come back and do the rest of the entire game. I don't know how long it is or how many other encounters there are. But I think I would be okay with stretching this out a bit longer. First of all, let's save. Not just because I want to try out some of the other options, and some of the other things, try to see which ending, like try to see what the bad ending is for the jester guy, try to see what happens if we give David up to the werewolf. There's like so many things that we could do and try out. And since this isn't like a romance game where you're trying to get like an ending with a character, it's really just a series of dates, which is actually quite nice. It's like great for a format like this for me, where I want to play it over a longer period of time and like go back and check options and stuff. I think that's what I'm gonna do. So haven't made the schedule for next week yet. I think I'll make it tonight, and I think I'm gonna do in the middle of the week. I kind of, if this is, I don't want to stream anything on Trump's birthday. I don't want to do anything correlating with that event. So I won't be streaming next Sunday. But I think I'll put this somewhere in the middle of the week and we can do some more of this because it's actually quite good. It's fun. It's funny. It's silly. I feel like the other stories that we've been working through are a little bit more, I won't say they're not melodramatic, but dramatic. A bit stronger of a situation where you're engaging with the emotional states of people and larger, more societal harms and questions and interactions and relationships, whereas this is just a series of dates with supernatural creatures in a hilarious context. Like the framing device is funny, the characters are funny, it's giving you the option to be like kind of saucy and like, oh, look at the vampire's arms and pecs, you know, look at the jester's spooky eyes, you get to pet the werewolf, you know, that kind of stuff. It's lighthearted and fun. So I think I'd like some more of this. Hopefully you do too. I'll be playing it more next week. That's all really. Hope you had a great weekend. I had a decent one. See you next week.